Good morning. We'll start session 6 on chapter Chemical Reactions and Equations. This is the last session on the chapter Chemical Reactions and Equations. Till now in this chapter we have studied what is a chemical reaction, what is a chemical equation, how to balance the given skeletal equation and why is it important to balance the chemical equation. We also studied different types of reaction: combination reaction, decomposition reaction, displacement reaction and double displacement reaction. We also studied about reactions involving energy, that is endothermic reactions and exothermic reactions. Apart from that, we also understood about reduction, oxidation and reduction reactions, and we also understood when these both oxidation and reaction happening simultaneously in the given reaction known as redox reaction. Now in today's class, let us understand how this redox reaction or reduction and oxidation reaction has a significance in our everyday life. That is, some applications of this reduction and oxidation reaction in our daily life. For example, every day in our day-to-day life, we come across these terms: respiration, which is nothing but breaking down of food molecules; rusting of iron, you might have seen, right? Bluish green deposit on copper, black layer or the black coating on the silver ornaments, bad taste of the fried food, etc. Right? We all have come across these things. This is nothing but it is due to oxidation or reduction reaction. Now what comes under what? We'll study that in detail. First we'll understand about these things: rusting of iron, bluish green deposit on copper and black layer on the silver. What is it actually known as? The term what is happening with the metal, which is nothing but a corrosion. Now what is a corrosion? Slow and steady destruction of a metal by the environment is called as corrosion. That means metal is being destructed or spoiled, or it is corroded, that is outer layer of the metal is corroded by the environment. Now for example, we only know about rust. When the iron rusts, we know why is the iron rusting? Because it is exposed to the air for a very long period of time. Similarly, when we expose copper or silver also, we do not call copper has rusted or silver has rusted, right? Rust is only for iron. That means iron has corroded. Here copper has corroded. Here silver has corroded. That means every metal will corrode when it is exposed to the environment. That is called as corrosion. So corrosion of iron is called as rust. So what is actually a rust? It is nothing but hydrated iron oxide, which is called as a ferric oxide. Formula for that is Fe2O3. You again study about this part in the chapter metals and non-metals in detail. Now copper, actually what we see is there is a deposit of bluish green color, right, which is nothing due to its respective carbonate. That means it forms copper carbonate on the layer. Similarly, silver, if you have seen silver ornaments or silver materials or anything, if you have it at your home, that turns black. That is because due to the deposition of the sulfur. That means silver sulfide is formed on the silver ornaments, which is nothing but a corrosion of silver. Corrosion of iron is called as rust. Everything else is not a rust. So this is about corrosion. Now how do we prevent this corrosion? Now basically, if you have any iron rack or window railings, anything, it by gradually by exposing it to sunlight, air, water, they rust, right? What do we do? We simply sometimes paint the railings, paint the grills. Why do we paint? To avoid rusting, correct? That is a simple technique. So some prevention is coating with paint, oil or grease, alloying with that another metal, alloying with other metal. You will again study in the chapter metals and non-metals. And also you have studied a part in 8th standard which is called as electroplating. Galvanization. Galvanization is something where we coat the zinc zinc layer is coated on iron sheets by passing electricity. Electroplating again I have given here. So these are few prevention methods to prevent corrosion of the metals. Next, now as we discussed, another few things here is bad taste of the fried food. So what do you mean by bad taste of the fried food? Have you ever noticed any food items either prepared at your home or that you have brought it from outside, if it is not consumed for a very long period of time, just kept it as it is, sudden one day when you try eating that, it tastes very bad, right? So what is that bad taste called as? That bad taste is called as rancidity. You all might have come across this. You get a bad odor of the oil or any food particle into it. That is nothing but rancidity. What is happening here? Because it is exposed to atmosphere, or it is exposed to atmosphere is nothing but it is oxygen is acting on it. Atmosphere. Rancidity. The taste and odor of the food materials containing fat and oil changes when they are left exposed to air for a long time. It actually happens sometimes if you have any simple chips or chaklis if you haven't stored them properly, they either go softer or they do not taste. You have a typical smell. You cannot eat that because they have turned rancid. Now what are the different types of rancidity what we see? We see hydrolytic rancidity, oxidative rancidity and microbial rancidity. Now hydrolytic rancidity is the rancidity occurring due to water content into it. I will not go much deeper in this because it is nothing but there is some chemical reaction happening in the food particle. Oxidative rancidity is something where it is exposed to atmosphere. Microbial rancidity is something due to the action of microbes. Sometimes the food which is left open for a very long period of time, there are microbes act on them. So that is microbial rancidity. Now butter, if it is exposed or if you keep the butter open for a day or two, you cannot consume that butter. It gives a bad taste and odor. That is again because of rancidity. How do we prevent rancidity now? We can prevent rancidity by storing the food in an airtight container, which we usually do it, or refrigerating it so that microbes do not act on them, or simple what we can say is the shelf life of the food is increased when you store them in the refrigerator. Otherwise, what usually the shopkeepers or outside food when we buy, what they do, they add antioxidants into the food. Apart from that, they also flush the if you see when you buy chips, so it is puffed, right? So when you just open the chips packet, there is actually a gas present in it, right? It is nothing but chips packet are flushed with nitrogen gas so that the chips remains fresh in them. Nitrogen being an inert gas, it is added to it. Now what do you mean by inert gas? Inert gas means they are less reactive. If I add nitrogen gas or I flush nitrogen gas into a chips packet, nitrogen will not react with the chips packet which is present in them, right? You do not get the nitrogen gas smell into chips, correct? That is why they flush the chips packet with nitrogen so that does not go rancid. So this is about the chapter chemical reactions and equations. So in today's class what we have discussed about significance of the reduction and oxidation reaction in our day-to-day life, corrosion and rancidity. Any doubt in this or any doubt in the whole chapter, you can call once the video is sent to you. Thank you.